Let's start. Now it's on. Hi, everyone. Hello. Come in, come in, come in. Really nice to have you here today with us to talk about, no, not to talk about, to imagine possible futures for the Wikimedia movement. Now, I know it has been a very long day. We are competing with very interesting and nice sessions also, and everyone is just basically willing to go on the city tour and have the party tonight, but I can assure you, you're going to have a great time here, so please bear with us, stay here, we need you because this is going to be an interactive session. So it's not going to be about presentation, it's going to be about capturing your ideas and your thoughts. I'm Eva Martin, I work for Wikimedia Germany, and I will be doing this together with...
I'm Natalia, I work in the Wikimedia Foundation.
I think everyone knows.
And I didn't use the microphone.
Okay, so let's maybe start, thank you. Let's maybe start with the purpose of today's session. What are we going to be doing today? Well, we will be talking about the future. And actually, I realized that we've had already many conversations about the future during the conference. People have been talking about AI, how do we regulate the use of AI on our platforms, talking about how do we recruit youth group and new people, how do we welcome newcomers in the movement. We've been having many of those conversations, and actually talking about the future is a bit misleading because it's actually happening now. We need to change things right now. It's not anymore about looking ahead and thinking about how it should be looking like in 5 to 10 years. It's actually about what can be happening right now, what can we do, so we actually make sure that we stay relevant. And that's the purpose of today's session. So we want to discuss how the world around us is changing, particularly in the CEE regional context. We want to hear from you. What are your concerns? What are the opportunities maybe also that you see, so it's not just all gloom. We also want to make sure that we kind of start to develop a shared understanding of how these changes that we see in the world also impact the Wikimedia movement, the communities, the projects, the organizations. And also, we just want to do this together. We want to make sure that we come together and we start thinking about possible responses. The idea of today's workshop is not only to describe the world and what we see, but to already start and develop ideas for possible futures and for things that we could do to react to those changes that we see. Now, you may be wondering, yeah, okay, that's interesting, that's the big picture, but what does this have to do with the CEE region?
And here I come to the microphone. So the CEE region has been actively working on all those trends and all those changes already. It's very appropriate that Clara entered the room because part of the work around the Wikimedia's future is supporting new users, young users to become part of Wikimedia and find Wikimedia still cool, relevant, and rewarding for them. But this is something they, on their own, need to imagine, develop, and strategize. And this is the work of the CEE Youth Group, but also the youth conference that has been happening in the CEE region thanks to Wikimedia Czech Republic. But also, we see a lot of changes within our contributing communities. We see the decrease of users with extended rights who help to keep our project safe. And there are at least 2 affiliates in this region who have been doing excellent work around it. It's Wikimedia Poland with administrator support and administrator camps, and there's Wikimedia Ukraine, which started a whole program around it. Through this conference, you also seen a lot of discussions happening around AI. What are the opportunities? How can we use it to moderate content? How can we use it to help our users? But also, what are the risks? What are we losing? So the CEE region has been already actively thinking about those changes and addressing them, so you are the best group to imagine the futures together.
Nice. Okay, so before we start with the breakout conversations and the deep dive into all of these thematics, we wanted to activate the room a little bit, and that's why we came up with this icebreaker. So we would like to ask all of you to basically turn to your neighbor, try maybe to talk to someone you haven't talked to so much yet during the conference, and just to discuss in 3 minutes if, yeah, we've changed that icebreaker a few times. We have a different question, but that's actually the right one on the slide, right? Yes. Yeah, it's the right one. So the question is, because it's going to be about imagining the futures, if you could now fast forward 5 years, what's one change that you would like to see in the Wikipedia world? All right. Yeah. So that was the conversation. It can either be like one change that you would like to see on Wikipedia, or it could be one change you would like to see in the Wikimedia world. One change, just one.
Yeah, I think so, but we still need to go through the... Hello, hello. I know you're in the future. Can you come back to the present times? Was it a good future? Okay, if it was a good future, does anyone want to share? What were you talking about? What are you imagining? Any dreams for the future?
And maybe also, if you can, because I know we love to talk in an extensive way about this, maybe like focus on this one change. One change.
One thing that thank you. One thing that I envision is more decentralization in the local, in the national movement in this country. I mean, okay, we'll have the national affiliate, but we would have also more local communities in each city, in each major region of any country, so that we have small communities that will do things together, will organize activities together, will promote Wikimedia in the micro context, in the local context of a city, of a region, so that we create a better sense of community between the various regions of a country, thus empower the Wikimedia community in a country, the Wikimedia affiliate in a country through the local communities that will be the local representatives of the affiliate. They will be part of the affiliate, of course, but more local communities, basically.
That's quite a future.
Okay, so discuss with the group. Jorge wants more friendly space for newcomers. Actually, Mari wants in the future have a summarization of automated summarization of articles. We were talking about Wikipedia, actually. And I would want to see actually a more automatization of updating the articles, less human contact about the small facts. So yes, this is our vision for future.
We had very similar idea with Marius, which was Wikipedia more like maybe some fact checking and working with like information more like current AI. As well, we were discussing like this more interactive environment for users but mostly contributors. At least some.
Yeah, to be a more social media, like the direction between the users, like instead of just talk pages, like maybe chat talk pages, something like that. So you get instant feedback, for example.
Yeah, I can imagine something really not that complicated, even on the user page, to allow some human interaction and bring to this human content. And I would as well love to see some like more maybe reels, some like news around this. So like work more with like the current world.
I'm Daniel, originally from Hungary and now in the Netherlands. And with Philip, we were talking about two aspects. You were mentioning the more and more important use of videos, and me coming more from the Wikidata and AI part, that I think text will be less and less read by humans and through these ChatGPT-like summaries. And we were envisioning a future which is not necessarily a future we like, but where we think that it's absolutely possible that users will want to interact with Wikipedia pages, like sending a prompt and wanting a video summary of the article, and that will be generated by AI. And well, at least we would like to see that somehow that will be a reliable transmission of the knowledge that we have from Wikipedia.
Maybe another one person, and then we can move on.
I actually found a soulmate, a person who thinks exactly like me. We want to see the world in 5 years in which everybody is aware of Wikipedia and its model, so that the model of reliably creating knowledge by humans is known and appreciated in 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for now? That's it. All right. Thanks a lot. I see that you've already deep dive into the content with this icebreaker, which is great. So keep all your ideas and everything you've started discussing, because there will be a chance for you to go a bit more in depth there. So before we start the breakout, I just want to introduce a process that has been initiated by both of the organizations we work for, which are the Wikimedia Foundation and Wikimedia Deutschland, which is called the Wikimedia Futures Lab. And basically the idea is to organize a process that includes the global movement, everyone within the movement, to have those conversations. Everyone, or many people in the movement, are having those conversations and are also working on solutions, but we see there a necessity of coming together and trying to do this together. Because when we look at all the threats, there are some reasons to get concerned, right? But at the same time, human knowledge has never been as valuable as it is now. So there are also many opportunities, basically. Suddenly we have a whole new value proposition to the whole world. And what the world really needs from us right now as the Wikimedia movement is to stand strong and united. And that's basically what we want to foster with this process. It has 3 goals. It's basically to foster this movement belonging that I just explained, this idea that we are in this together, and that one of the strengths of this movement is to actually have access to the diversity of perspective that enables us to develop solutions that work for everyone, hopefully. And then also the idea is just to organize a series of conversations where we come together and we discuss global trends and their impact on Wikimedia. You will find out more about the global trends. The foundation has been doing a lot of research on those. And we are basically organizing those conversations to share those learnings, to try and make sure that everyone has a joint understanding of what we see in the world and the trends that we should pay attention to. And lastly, the idea is not just that we come together and we look at what's happening and then we get concerned and then we're not sure how to react and then we all leave depressed. That's not the point. The idea is to come together so then we can start develop solutions, adapt our strategies, discuss what we could potentially be doing together. That's basically the idea with this Wikimedia Futures Lab.
So if you're wondering how I can join this process, the good news is you already joined the process, because this meeting and this conversation we have here is part of exactly that. We will be having, and we already had, those conversations with the movement in different places. We had this conversation at Wikimania. We are having it right now in the CEE region. We will be bringing it to WikiCon North America. Also, there will be an in-person meeting in Frankfurt in January 2026, and there is something that we all love. There is a meta page that you can find, and then you can go to the discussion page, you can share your thoughts there, you can read through the trends to just keep thinking, and then there will be other formats, ideas, and discussions which we will discover in the future. So basically, welcome to the Futures Lab process. You're already here.
Also, just adding one thing here. So we also want to open some online conversation in online formats. And the idea is that whenever you are organizing a community call with your communities and you feel like you would like to have this conversation and you would like to have some support from the team to actually facilitate those conversations, please reach out to us. We are more than happy to join your online calls and to help you organize these conversations. All right? So let's now start with the interactive part of today's. The idea is to break out into several groups to focus on those 3 tracks. So the way we've organized those Futures Lab conversation is that we basically organize this conversation following those 3 tracks. So we look at different aspects of how the world is changing, and we try to organize those conversations and structure it basically along those tracks to try to not just like mix everything and talk about everything and just like repeat ourselves. So our proposition is to look first at, am I doing this now? What? Let me check, yes. Okay, so I'm basically going to present quickly, we are going to present quickly those 3 tracks and what we understand, and then afterwards we would ask you to choose one of the group, and then you will have a breakout conversation within your group. You will be exchanging ideas that relate to these particular tracks, and then at the end we come back together again and you present the results with the whole group. So that's the idea. All right, so quick presentation of those three tracks. The first track is knowledge consumption. So what we do is we look at the changes in how people consume knowledge in the world today. This means how people consume knowledge on our platform, but also how people consume knowledge out there on other online platforms. What are the new needs? What are the features that people are interested in? How is this changing? And also it's not only people, because one of the main change that we see is actually that it's not just humans who are consuming our knowledge, but machines as well. So the whole knowledge consumption is basically about people in machine accessing our content and other content online. That's the first one.
So the second one is knowledge contribution, which is let's think about how and who contributes to knowledge. Within Wikipedia, what do you see changing there? What do you see how people produce content, who comes to produce content, but also let's look a little bit wider. What's happening outside of our projects? Where people contribute to knowledge in the internet right now? Who's creating knowledge? What do they use? And what does it mean for our movement? That's knowledge contribution.
Okay, so we look at what people want from us. We look at what we basically produce. So how do we produce knowledge and what's the type of knowledge that people are interested in? But then we also look at everything that's around us. That's what we call knowledge infrastructure. This might be the one that's the most abstracted somehow. And the idea is just to recognize that the environment in which knowledge is being produced and shared and accessed and distributed is changing. And we also want to have a look at this. Those are mostly elements outside of our control that do have an impact on our community, our platforms, our projects. And to make it a bit more tangible, one of the suggestions for today is to focus on the question of how online information is being regulated and distributed. So this is everything that has to do with the lawsuits, the litigations, the new regulations that are impacting the project, geopolitical threats, and so on. All right.
Okay, so now we will be forming 3 groups, but maybe let's do a little bit of check. So, based on those 3 trends, who would be interested in, and you know you can change your mind later, so it's not, you're not signing anything, but who would be interested now to discuss knowledge consumption? Okay. Those kind of gestures, like I thought that was okay. Okay. Who would be interested in discussing knowledge contribution? Okay. And knowledge infrastructure? Okay. Okay, so that looks good. So we will now form 3 groups around those topics. So the group that wants to discuss knowledge consumption goes with Eva. That's your group. Everyone who is like, I really want to talk about knowledge contribution, that's my passion in this room, comes with me. And everyone's like, yeah, infrastructure. This is really fascinating. Jorge, show yourself. Jorge, you didn't show yourself. Everyone who wants to talk about knowledge infrastructure goes with Jorge. So let's divide. We will be talking for around 30 minutes, and then one person of the group will report back on the discussion.
Am I doing this? All right, I was hearing in the room many ideas, intense conversation in the groups. Let's move on with the reporting. So I would ask the first group, which is mine, Christelle. I would ask Christelle to present the results of the conversation. Can you get a mic? Yes, thank you.
Thanks a lot. So we first talked about that people are no longer reading long texts. They tend to either consume knowledge in small tidbits. Those are sometimes still in text, often through ChatGPT, or as audio or video. So this presents a problem because it threatens the financial model of the foundation, which is based on the idea that people see the banners on the Wikipedia articles and contribute small donations, lots of people, small donations that they see on the pages, which they don't do if they get just a small ChatGPT summary, and they don't get if they listen to things while they are driving, while they are doing chores in the household, things like that. So that's not only a problem for the financial model, it's also a problem because contributors usually come when they are on the wiki page itself. It's a much larger step if you are listening to a Wikipedia article or if you just have a ChatGPT summarized to get the idea, oh, I could contribute to Wikipedia, because probably you don't even know that this is knowledge coming from Wikipedia. Another problem is that a lot of those things that are possible through ChatGPT or other large language models is mostly available in English, in more and more languages, but the smaller the language is, the less knowledge, the less large language models are available. So those is a risk, and at the same time it's an opportunity where the Wikimedia movement could be the leading force to bring knowledge again to small language communities. A problem is that automated translations that respect our content as a source are wonderful, but automated translations also might have mistakes. So yeah, we really need to think about automated translations a lot. We had some crazy ideas what we could do about the situation, and the basic idea was a wiki chatbot, our own large language model that hopefully would give better attribution and let people know that, yes, this is from Wikipedia. And the question was, how do you correct or edit within this wiki chatbot? Is there a way to just tell it, this information is wrong, I have a source, and can it then correct this? We discussed about this quite a bit. We also thought about our own AI summaries of articles, either AI created or human created. And yes, voice editing, as I just said, was an important point that we talked about. So I think that was it from our group.
Thank you so much. Can we move on with the yeah. So who is going to report for the group 2 knowledge contribution? You've definitely you've won the award of the most crazy post-its on the flip chart.
Thank you. Knowledge contribution, so we produced a lot, but the summary is in orange. So we observed a big trend around AI, but we have seen AI as an opportunity actually. It could bring automation, it could also bring ways to suggest edits. So for automation, it could be to change things automatically, maybe enabling audio editing, having way more guidance when you edit, which is something, well, yeah, okay, I will promote myself later, but already working on this. So of course, a lot of suggestions, like suggestions coming from experts such as researchers, journalists. We could suggest sources. When you start editing, you don't necessarily have good knowledge of what is a good source, what is a bad source, what could be a better source. We could also highlight the missing trends for the wikis. Sometimes, you know, something is happening and everyone forgets to edit about it. Yeah, quality of source, I said. More neutrality by suggesting more diversity of sources. Identifying propaganda and very oriented sources as well could help us a lot. Let's not forget that we are human, so human work is more qualitative than what a machine would do, but humans should contribute to the models for AI so that we are sure that it is still human-based knowledge. We also want to highlight some small gamification because humans like games, so more fun by having reminders to edit, having more goals to reach. Yeah, more reward, actually rewarding others just because they are making one simple edit would be amazing. And we want to highlight editing opportunities as well, so it's possible, yeah, we would be finding the new generation and have the motivation to edit. The opportunities are that you want to support your language, you want to support your community. It's also that, yeah, it's easier to edit text than editing video. You could upload on YouTube and become famous. So maybe we should make Wikimedians more famous. We should have added that. Yes. And also compete with video content because it's the first source of consumption, and maybe it would we should enter that game at some point. Did I forget something?
I also wanted to highlight the craziest idea that we have, which is died button. If someone dies, you just click a button and all the things become in past tense. So that's, yeah.
With community configuration to prevent that on wikis that don't allow this, like mine. But yeah, always think about humans first.
Thank you so much. All right. I could repeat this for the online audience, but I'm not going to do it. Yeah. So, third group, Philip.
Yes. So we didn't bother with post-it notes because we were so immersed in our discussion. But yeah, we discussed about different things, and we went through the 3 questions. We understood our assignment very strictly. So when it comes to recent changes in the environment, one is the weakening of freedom of speech. So for instance, people who are right-wing and maybe in power or close to the power have amplified voices and can drown out all the rest. So that's something that we need to think about. There's also, especially within the EU, over-regulation, so creation of a lot of regulations. With good intentions, so you know the intentions are good, but the consequences are not really intended, and they, especially for the non-governmental sector and the public benefit sector, so it's quite difficult to comply to these regulations. And there's blurred lines between media, especially social media, and the policies that are being created. When it comes to concerns, it's quite difficult for us to compete with deeper pockets, so to say. So, for example, Google or any larger corporation can do quite a lot of lobbying, can do quite a lot of things that we cannot really with limited, because we have limited resources and they basically do not. And the louder you are, the more protected you are, was one of the sentences that we had in the discussion, because of the interests of those corporations. They can be quite protected. However, we're also facing these regulatory challenges in the moments that we're also facing reuse challenges, meaning that our visibility is sort of waning because there are these AI tools that are hiding Wikipedia behind themselves. Basically, they're using the content from Wikipedia, but they are not attributing it to us. So that makes us less relevant, which is a concern that we have. However, there's hope. There's always hope. We need to have a united front. We need to make allies to sort of connect with like-minded organizations, but maybe with also governmental and trans-governmental organizations that are prone to thinking the same way we are. Basically, we need to raise the awareness about the Wikipedia model together, and how we can adapt. Basically, we should invite some of those, especially allies that are classical allies like Creative Commons, so OpenStreetMap, Mozilla, and similar, but also these some of the governmental agencies that might be, might be able to understand us. Maybe some that might not, so that we can sort of try to open their minds, but also trans-governmental organizations that are that might have a bigger purview in the world, and not necessarily just to the Frankfurt event, but some others, maybe some smaller venues when it makes sense. So, yeah, that's generally it.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me move on to the next and hopefully last slide. Yep. So, I am very grateful to all of you who joined the session today and who shared intensively and also generated ideas. This is great. It also makes me quite hopeful to see that we are already working on at least some of them. So it seems like we are going in the right direction. And this is only the beginning of those conversations. There would be many more conversations. I also want to say that we want to include people from outside the movement into those conversations, so really try to reach out to external partners who are also working on those global trends and who we may learn from. And therefore, I'm also asking all of you, if you know someone, if you're thinking of someone who might be an essential contributor in those conversations, please reach out to us. And we're going to try and potentially see if we can include them in those conversations. So yeah, basically that's it. Thank you so much to everyone who joined the conversation, to all the note takers, to everyone who reported. This is great. This will all be documented. And this is the link to the Wikimedia Futures Lab meta page. Stay tuned. There will be announcement for further conversations. And again, if you have some online community goals and you would like to have those conversations, we are happy to support you with you. Do you want to say something, Natalia?
No, also, once again, thank you for those conversations. One thing that I heard some time ago is that I've heard Wikimedians saying, oh, like, we don't really, like, we cannot really contribute to the discussion around those trends. But then when you start talking to people, everyone has some amazing things to contribute. It feels like it's, like, we're thinking about it all already, so it's really great that those conversations are happening. Please feel free to use the meta page. Feel free to join the conversation, and see you in the future.
Just a small announcement. I know we have become a little bit boring with the announcements, but we should. No party yet. City tour first. It's 5:30. We do want to have a wrap-up now, so we have a half an hour to get ready, change your clothes, charge our mobiles, I don't know, rest. And at 6 o'clock, we will gather in front of the entrance of the hotel. There will be 3 buses. We will enter the buses. There will be a guided tour. We will stop in certain places. There will be professional guides. They will explain us things, and then the buses will return us here to the hotel, and we will